Here's her mom, Marjorie, watching. Now, to fully understand Tiffany's comeback, you have to go back to last year's World Championships in Tokyo. Tiffany Chin was one performance away from the gold. It was the classic confrontation, and it all came down to the final program. Whoever won the free skating would win the gold. Katarina skated first, and she made her triple jumps, establishing the scores that Tiffany would have to beat. The championship was there for Tiffany, but she pulled out of a triple jump, and the celebration would be for Katarina. Chin was so close to a gold medal, but her long program fell completely apart.
I knew I didn't win. You know, those two mistakes were pretty vital.
At the time, the World Championship loss was only one setback, though. The troubles were just beginning. It was discovered that Tiffany had a serious muscle imbalance, and she'd have to start all over again.
At first, I didn't really want to see it at all. I didn't want to acknowledge it, especially right after Worlds. I didn't want to see any of that. I didn't even want to hear it. You know, I figured, well, I'm third in the world, and I'm national champion. You know, I want to kind of, at that time, take a break, do the shows, and get back into training like everyone else used to do. I didn't want to accept the fact that maybe I had a special problem of some type. But then, you know, once the knowledge was kind of like forced down my throat, then, you know, you have to see it.
It was a special problem, and a devastating one. Doctors had discovered that from the waist down, everything on Tiffany's body was canted inward. She underwent extensive chiropractic treatments, and the world saw Tiffany Chin vanish from the ice.
I had to just try and relearn to walk, that type of thing. And, you know, yeah, 8 months is a long time to be off the ice, but 8 months is not a long time to relearn something as simple as that and as basic as that.
So Tiffany began one of the most unique exercise programs encountered by any athlete. At times, she spent as much as 3 hours each day trying to build up atrophied muscles in her calves and inner thighs. Here was America's newest queen of the ice, and she was starting all over again. After returning to the ice, it was as if Tiffany had to relearn the sport of ice skating. Jumps and spins were months away. It was back to the pure basics. And the question, would we see Tiffany Chin, figure skater, ever again? And was a comeback no more than the elusive dream?
I didn't want the general public to think that I was out of it and that I couldn't handle it, and that I was all washed up. I felt like I was going to try no matter what.
Well, the trying was often painful, and the methods new ones. Tiffany moved from her home in California to Colorado to train with Don Laws, Scott Hamilton's coach. It was Laws who had to help Tiffany remaster the moves she had already learned years ago. Laws was constantly by her side. And so, too, was Tiffany's mother, Marjorie Chin, whose active involvement in the skater's career has raised more than a few eyebrows in the skating world.
Why don't you turn your mind off then? Let your body take over. See, at a competition, when you're there at a competition, well, you have to create these things for yourself. You're in a crisis right now, look. Other athletes come into a sport, or in this case, onto the ice. They might have seen, and I don't mean this in a negative way, a sports psychologist. They might have seen a therapist. Then they've come to see the coach. And then they might not feel so well that day. So you've got 4 things compounding it. And that is not good. And I think at this point, Tiffany is clouded through input, strong input of too many people.
The fact is, Tiffany's mom has a great deal of input on and off the ice, and has made her sacrifices as well. Marjorie Chin has temporarily left the family at home in Toluca Lake to be with Tiffany in Colorado. The estimated $25,000 to $40,000 a year in training expenses is yet another investment. The two are never apart, and as we found during the following interview, conversations between Tiffany and Marjorie in and out of public can often be brutally honest.
Well, I don't think I gave into it. You know, it's not like I was really scared that night and just couldn't do anything. If I was really, really nervous and scared, I would have missed the first two triples. But,
Could I cut in? I'm not going to sit here and listen to this. You did not prepare. Wait a minute, please.
At that point, Tiffany's mother stopped the formal interview and began to berate her daughter in front of our camera crew for 10 minutes. She told Tiffany she was lazy and a phony, and implied that her money was not well spent on Tiffany's skating. Well, Marjorie Chin here in attendance in Geneva, and here again, it's become more than a family affair. Marjorie shouting at her daughter in public during practices. Tiffany Chin, next, will skate for the gold.
Eigentlich sehr schön.